Welcome, everyone. We'll give people just a few minutes to join us here, and then we will get started. Awesome. Hello, hello. Okay, we'll give everyone just about one more minute, just in case there's a few more people who want to come on in, and then we can get started. Okay. Well, hello, everybody. Thank you for attending our webinar, Leveraging Data into Actionable Information. First, I just wanted to start with a little bit of housekeeping. There is a chat window alongside your webinar screen. Please enter and don't hesitate any questions you have. We will have a Q&A portion at the end of today's webinar, and we'll make sure we get through all of them. And if anyone's missing their digital lunch gift card from either Grubhub or DoorDash, shoot me a message in there as well, and I will make sure that we get that resolved for you. And without any further ado, I'd like to introduce one of our two talented speakers today. Rusty Holliday is Datavision CTO. He brings us over 20 plus years of experience in the IT industry with an array of impressive past lives. He's been Director of Operations, Product Development, User Experience Architect, Circuit Design Engineer, Network Security Engineer, and many more. He's a very savvy troubleshooter and usually one of the most creative guys in the room. When he's talking, you know you're about to learn something cool. So, Rusty, go for it.
Wow, I'm gonna have to bring you to my next family event too. I don't think my family quite respects me in the way you do, Rebecca. So thank you so much. They'd be pretty impressed with that. Thank you everyone for coming out. I certainly hope that you had an opportunity to order your lunch. I got one of those gift cards as well too, because we get pretty well taken care of, and man, it was nice to have a nice hot Reuben sandwich show up at the door. Been a while since I had one of those. It's been cold cuts for a couple months working from home, so I really appreciate that, and I hope you guys are having a great experience with your lunch as well. So today we're going to talk really about data information, how that gets worked into the cloud, and really just how has the job of a network infrastructure engineer, or really even the responsibility of a CIO changed to go from just using and making sure life cycles are maintained and licensing is maintained to something that really builds value for the business, simplifies the life of those responsible for taking care of it, and really getting IT into a position that it's enhancing the business as opposed to just sort of providing a utility to it. So we've done a bit of a welcome and introductions, and I'm going to save probably our best introduction for last, but we'll get to meet one of the top Aruba engineers really in the country, in my opinion. We'll talk about the Aruba AI Advantage. We'll talk about leveraging that data into actionable information, and what that actually means is it's kind of a vague statement. And then we'll get pretty specific about the SD-WAN capabilities, how we can simplify and automate deployment of remote sites, zero-touch deployment, distributed branch, and how all of that information comes together to really help you with just keeping everything running and then enabling those next steps. And then after that, we'll take any questions that you got, or just say thank you and hope to talk to you soon. So without further ado, we'll go right into kind of the Aruba AI Advantage here. So, AI gets thrown around a lot, and big data gets thrown around a lot as terms, but I would say over the last few years, we've really started to become comfortable with them and understand them, right? But to level set, you don't have big data, and I don't have big data in most cases, especially around our network infrastructure. So what we're talking about in terms of big data is a network of information across a plane of multiple sites, companies, and things of that nature, right? So sending your information up into a cloud that it can be anonymized, and then patterns can be observed using machine learning. That helps to automate the processes that you may go through for troubleshooting or correlating events and detecting anomalies as those pieces are baseline. Certainly, each individual business unit is looked at in those big data pieces to identify individual anomalies, but the model overall becomes smarter by getting multiple companies in there. So the advantage to using someone like Aruba is that it's not just your data, but it's really everybody's data that they use to build these patterns and detect things on your network that may have gone unnoticed. So the benefits there are not simple, they're really powerful. It eliminates manual troubleshooting. What we're talking about there is that, particular events across multiple services and infrastructure pieces can be correlated together, and that can really reduce the time to resolution because you're able to identify the specific event that's causing all of these alerts and alarms, getting you to that root cause much faster. Reduces your trouble ticket time, like I said, just by identifying those issues and the specific impact to the business. It can also increase network utilization, so by identifying patterns that you may have in your network that are similar to other networks, but the performance may not be there, can offer tuning instructions or automations. And then in the end, right, you get these data-driven insights that really tell you what to do. Oftentimes we get stuck trying to decide what is the best course. How do we make it better? It's not that we don't want to, but having that additional insight, something that's watching constantly instead of at points in time, gives you a much better accuracy. And so once that information is in there, it really needs to be leveraged and correlated to provide those insights. And the main difference here is that, we used to kind of set it and forget it. Certainly we'd set up, alarms so that if something did break or go down that was obvious, we'd get notified. If things peaked to, 90 or 100% utilization, we'd get an alert. But it was all pretty straightforward and didn't really have a pattern of continual improvement. So by using AI and ML and using a pattern that continually optimizes and continually reviews that information to correlate network performance, identify optimization, and give you instruction on how to improve or automating that improvement, it gives a significant advantage to get around, event-driven automation, log automation analysis, ultimately for your engineers, SOC technicians, or experienced individuals, can really tell them, exactly where problems are occurring. So in order to be able to do this, essentially, I joke a lot that the Internet of Things is not essentially a new piece to network engineers because they've always had an Internet of Things. We've always had devices that were recording information and reporting, via an SNMP or things of that nature. In the Aruba world, we've got an enhanced number of points of information and data that's being collected. And so now we really refer to that as telemetry information, not just about your infrastructure, but about the users that are on it, where they're at, where they're coming from, what their trust level is, and integrating and correlating all of that information provides the ability to look for anomalies, get intelligence, and ultimately create that feedback loop. Another way that data is being leveraged in the Aruba world is through this sort of device classification, and this is one that's enhanced upon a existing NAC product that they have called ClearPass Policy Manager. And so taking that information that ClearPass had before, but getting it up to the cloud so that you can look for additional patterns like, what networks is this device connecting to, say, outside on the internet? Is it connecting to known URLs or IP addresses? Can give us information to say this isn't just an Android device, but this is actually an Android device that's running an IP camera, or a headless device, used for say information about a conference room or things like that. In the ClearPass Device Insights, you have not only AI making decisions looking at that data and telemetry, but you've also added crowdsourcing. So when it's either not right or clustered but still unknown, individuals can go in and make those corrections in order to enhance the model. So I know we've all heard about data, understanding that path of continual improvement, but ultimately you want to see it, and I do too. So we've got Matt Lehn, who is our enterprise engineer and really our product owner around all things Aruba. Matt's been with DataVision since 2011, has a number of certifications, and has continued to not just keep those certifications, but add on. Matt's also a panelist with Aruba as part of the Aruba Ambassador program, so he's often helping to make suggestions on improvements, and sometimes even giving their technicians information on how to improve or solve particular troubleshooting issues. So without further ado, my Aruba hero, Matt Lehn.
I appreciate that, Rusty. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining. What I'd like to do is just kind of finish where Rusty was talking about as far as the AI insights. We have a lot of different products that are collecting information, and things are certainly moving to the cloud-based. And instead of a PowerPoint here, I thought we could kind of jump into some fun things through Central. So there's certainly a lot of aspects to Aruba Central, and more time than what this call can provide. So we'll certainly have information at the end of this to be able to further demo, and I got kind of a sneak peek for everybody on that. But what I wanted to show here is through their new AI insights here, we have our DataVision office. We also have it deployed at the owner's house, just to start, kind of collecting data so we can play around and get some information to showcase for everybody. One thing that I wanted to show you guys is through the AI insights this is collecting the information, and it's going to give us a nice view of what's going on in the environment. So just looking at this screen here, we can see that we've got high DHCP failures, clients with excessive 2.4 gigahertz dwell times, which basically means that if the device is capable of 5 gigahertz, hey, this is sticking to 2.4, and so we can narrow into why. So as this, the AI Insights progresses, there's been a lot of demos to where, hey, we have our configuration built into Central, we've got our configurations set, but then based off of the learning in future releases of this, okay, it's not only going to tell us where the issues are, but it's also going to have an easy button. Hey, we recommend changing, setting your min and max power to this, or letting the system do the work for us, so we don't have to guess. And so what I wanted to show on the high DHCP failures here is it gives us a nice view of what times the issues have occurred, what SSIDs that they were connected to during those issues, some reasoning behind that, what clients were affected when this happened, what access points did this occur on, the AP models, firmware version, and then also if you're in a multi-site deployment, we'll give you exactly where those sites, that it occurred. So, and when we start talking about radius requests, maybe we're in a large enterprise environment, we have multiple radius servers, it will get very specific as well as what server that we were receiving those timeouts on. So in a simple AI Insights view, can easily kind of just get that. I like to poke in there quite a bit just to see how things are going. So if there's any adjustments needed. I'll switch back over to the PowerPoint for a second. We'll jump over to some SD-WAN side. So Aruba is really expanding on Aruba Central, building a lot of the products into it. So as this progresses, so Aruba Central is collecting the insights through the 65,000 customers, millions of devices. We've also got the ClearPass Device Insight, which is another product. We've got the Aruba User Experience Insights sensors, which are a very hot topic for us. And so if you're not familiar with that, be happy to get you a demo of that product, where basically we deploy these sensors that act as wireless or wired clients for us and can do a lot of testing to confirm network performance and uptime and things. Net Insights, and then also built into the latest Aruba OS CX switches. Lots of AI capabilities there. Switching over to the SD-WAN side, so within Aruba Central, our cloud-based solution, we now have the ability to deploy SD-WAN, SD-Branch, and we are now selling the 9000 series gateways, which are a very pleasant, great box to work with. Small footprint, but for the 9004, this is kind of our usually fits most scenarios, right? So, but this is going to be for a small site, supports up to 2048 clients and 4 gigs of throughput. So within this, it packs a punch. Good price tag on it, as far as cost efficiency. And then within the 9004, we also have the LTE one, and then for the larger sites, the 9012 gateway. So in a typical SD-WAN deployment there, we'd have a larger campus controller deployed, like a 7210, 7220, 7240, just depending on how many sites we're looking at, as well as redundancy, so based off your data centers. And then we deploy these for the branch locations to connect back. What's very nice about the SD-WAN solution through Central is the automated orchestration, the single pane of glass. So being that Central can handle all of your wired and wireless needs, we can add access points, switches, SD-WAN. You log into one product and you get full end-to-end visibility of what's going on. One-touch provisioning, so we can, really helpful for retail or, lots of remote sites that you need to deploy to. We set our configuration, we put the devices in a group, it inherits the configuration, and so you don't need to go to the site to deploy these. You ship it to the site, you have someone say, hey, can you plug in an Ethernet cable and a power, and you can be off and running. So we get the full true enterprise network to that. One of the key features of the SD-WAN is the ability to do our dynamic path selection. And so detecting utilization, jitter, and how well your internet connection is, as all of, a lot of things are moving to the cloud, your Office 365, your box, your connecting to Azure or AWS, right? So having multiple connections out with our dynamic path selection, we can do policy-based routing, and I've got some more information on the next slide for that. So within our dynamic path steering here, I had several panelists sent some questions. How do we handle this? Again, a little more information than I can go in a couple minutes here. So I'd certainly be happy to schedule a demo and further information on this. But it's really just as simple as detecting, your source, your destination, what applications are critical to you. So on this top left slide here, then we start to define our profiles. Okay, is this going to be best for internet, voice, high availability, And then we can set our SLA for, okay, how much latency or jitter or loss utilization is acceptable, or a threshold to then trigger our action, right? So if it does hit this threshold, then what do I want my primary path to be, secondary path, and tertiary there? So lots of capabilities, multiple connections to these SD-WAN gateways, and it's an extremely fun product. We've been working on some very large implementations with Aruba and have had very good success, great stories to tell, and what I'd like to do is give you guys a little sneak peek into some demo kits that we're building. I've got 5 of these demo kits, which includes a 9004 gateway, an IAP 515, a 303 HR, which is our hospitality access point, and then a 8-port PoE switch. And then I've also got all of the different types of mounting brackets for the access points, so you guys can get hands-on of what those look like as they have switched to the metal mounts. So these are, I've got them ready. I'm happy to start lining up some demos for guys. So let me know if you guys are interested, and we'll get you on top of the list. And I'll be handling those demos for everybody as well. So, why use DataVision? As Rusty mentioned, I've been working with Aruba products for the last 9 years. But not only, it's not just me. We've got a full team of Aruba engineers. So we have a lot of tenure with our employees. No job is too big or too small. We're Aruba HP is our bread and butter. It's what we do. It's really most of the time. Well, it's all I do, anyways. And so, hey, we'll design it, sell it, deploy it, and support it. We work with you to design the best solution, help you implement it, train you on it, and then help you, support it moving forward. So all of our projects are project managed. So we've got a great team, keep everything on track, got a deadline, we got to hit it. So we've proven out these solutions time and time again. So we do, repeatable deployments, and Aruba Central is really making that process even a lot easier for us. So we're taking all the guesswork out of how do we get these things implemented. So that's really, hey, let me know if you're interested in one of those demos. I have got some ready, and be happy to get some testers out there for us. And open for Q&A if anybody has any questions for me.
Matt, thank you so much. While you guys are maybe thinking of questions, which you can put in the questions chat window there, Matt pointed out a lot of experience with the Aruba product, our project management process, which is really what DataVision did first to assure the customer experience was fully managed, right? When we say project management, well, we are managing the project and potentially even subcontractors, right? What we're really managing is, are we meeting your expectations, and what can we do to assure that? A demonstration of that is really, what Matt just showed you is to say, hey, our customers run into some issues when going through this, right? The product's great, but man, mounting is a really confusing issue. There are 5 different types of mounts for these access points. And, it's a small piece that can hold up a project for a significant amount of time. So thinking about, hey, that should be in the demo kit as well, so that they can see and test and assure success is important, right? Each of those pieces, again, to say, hey, we know you're going to want to see this, but as long as you've got all of these pieces, let's just get it all set up. Let's get it in your hands, get you a level of comfort with it, and do that together. So while all of our technical experience and ability to deliver and deploy is top notch, again, our first concern is your satisfaction and building success for you. So again, thanks, Matt. I really do appreciate what you've done there, and I know it's going to be a great experience for anyone who gives it a shot. So I'm not seeing any questions in the in the chat here, so I'll turn it back over to Rebecca for any last thoughts.
Thank you, Rusty. My last thoughts are just announcing our grand prize winner who's winning an AP from Aruba. Thank you so much, Andy Nygaard. You are today's winner, and I will be in contact with you to facilitate you receiving your AP. Closing comments is you all will receive a recording of today's webinar as well in your inbox in case there's any information you want to revisit. Of course, we would love to hear from you, so feel free to reach out and to start, schedule your demo, facilitate the conversation, shoot us any additional questions you may have. Otherwise, we're going to give you 5 minutes back into your day, and thank you so much for spending your time with us, and enjoy your lunch. Bye, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.